As an ex-Windows user who has transitioned into using MacBooks for the last 4 years, I have to admit, I haven't seen a lot of PCs that would convince me to switch. It's usually some combination of them feeling too clunky, poor performance, loud fans, and bad battery life. But things are starting to change. On one hand, we have companies like Qualcomm developing class-leading Snapdragon chips for PCs that can finally throw punches with M-series chips on Macs. At the same time, my friends over at ASUS, who are the official partner of today's video, have created something so spectacular I can't even believe that it's real: the brand new Zenbook A14. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But no laptop is, and we'll get to the downsides throughout this video, but one thing is clear: it gets so much right that it might just be the PC that finally convinces me to switch to Windows as my daily driver. To understand exactly why this has been my experience, we'll be answering 4 questions. Does the design hold up for real-world use? How fast and useful is it for work and play? Can you trust the battery life? And are the AI features a game changer or gimmick? By the end of this video, you'll have a deep understanding on who this laptop is for and who might feel held back by it. Every time I start my workday and pick up this laptop, I am still taken aback by how weightless this is. It feels like a feather, and it is without question the lightest computer I have ever had the pleasure to use. It feels so satisfying to take this out of my bag because of how airy it feels. It's effortless to pick this up with one hand and move to another spot to work. Like, someone needs to say it. It puts the Air in MacBook Air better than Apple's own product, which is a huge accomplishment by ASUS. They achieved this with a new material called Ceraluminum, which is used in the laptop's lid, keyboard, frame, and base. This innovation allows for an incredibly lightweight design, starting at just 980 grams. The benefits of this material extend beyond the weight though. I can confidently toss this laptop into my bag without worrying my keys will scrape it due to its scratch-resistant properties. If I accidentally drop this computer, it has shock resistance up to 50 centimeters, which can come in handy for clumsy people like myself. The most satisfying part though, I can open up the lid with just one finger, something you wouldn't expect from a laptop this incredibly lightweight. It's a true testament to the engineering that went into crafting a solid hinge to make this possible in the first place. The only con I've come across is the laptop was advertised to be smudge-free, but unfortunately, I have dealt with the same level of smudge I've come to expect on my MacBook. It's not a deal breaker, and it's not terrible either, but it's something to point out for those who were expecting perfection. Beyond Ceraluminum, the daily grind of using a laptop like this has been fantastic. For example, I'm a big fan of how it feels to type scripts for my videos on this computer. Each key press feels satisfying thanks to the responsive feedback. Being able to type comfortably for hours is essential for me to even consider switching to a computer. The trackpad is also fantastic. I spend a lot of time researching on this computer for my content, and having a large area for my hand to control the mouse accurately while I navigate web pages is a must. Also, there are these really cool smart gestures on the trackpad that allow you to control different aspects of the computer. For example, swiping along the left and right edges allow you to control the volume and brightness respectively. Honestly though, it's kind of hard to get a hang of this at first, but it does work quite well, and it does get easier over time as you get used to where your fingers need to be. However, I will admit, I still opt for the physical buttons on the keyboard as I always prefer something a little bit more tangible. When it comes to the display ASUS decided to include in the Zenbook A14, they do deserve their flowers. First, most people don't consider the impact aspect ratios have on your ability to be productive. ASUS chose to go with a 16:10 aspect ratio, which is very uncommon on PC laptops, but I'm really glad they did. I get extra vertical space, which means I can fit more lines of text, which is always a bonus on compact computers. Second, they went with a high-end Lumina OLED that looks vibrant and true to life. With how long I spend staring at a computer screen, which can be hours at a time, I appreciate how easy this panel is on my eyes. And as someone who is used to 4K and 5K displays, I'm shocked at how crisp this panel is at just under 2K resolution. It makes movies and TV shows look gorgeous on this this display. It is worth mentioning that this display is only 60 Hz and it is not a touchscreen, but this has had zero impact on my experience, and I don't expect it to impact many of you watching. When it comes to the ports, this laptop covers most of what I need. The two USB 4 ports let me connect two external SSDs while still leaving room for a dedicated HDMI 2.1 port, an audio jack, and a 10 gigabit USB-A port on the right side. That said, I do wish ASUS replaced the USB-A port with an additional USB 4 port to provide flexibility on what side you'd like to charge the laptop. So to answer the question I asked in the beginning, the design choices ASUS have made have more than delivered a stellar experience for daily use. But when it comes to performance, things are not quite as straightforward. I think it's safe to make this single claim. The Snapdragon X chip included on the Zenbook A14 is fast for the people that it is meant for, which is students, casuals, and on-the-go professionals who want something lightweight and can get the job done. I was given a Snapdragon X model with 32 gigs of RAM and 1 TB SSD, and with how I like to use my laptop, it is more than powerful enough to handle my needs. I rely heavily on applications like Notion, Microsoft Edge, Lightroom, Spotify, ChatGPT, Microsoft Office, covering a large bucket of basic, creative, and office tasks. The Snapdragon X chip manages all of them very well. It's such a pleasure to work on here because of the combination of good performance and its ultra lightweight design. Now, that is not to say that this can do anything effortlessly. I wouldn't want to use this to edit large video projects or run any graphically intensive applications given the limitations of the chip itself in this regard. For example, I tried running Gling AI to cut up my 4K footage for a YouTube video. While it technically works on the Snapdragon X, it's just a bit too laggy for my workflow to be productive. But to be clear, that's not a knock against the Zenbook A14. It was never designed for heavy-duty creative work. If you need a laptop for graphically intensive applications, ASUS's ProArt lineup would be a better fit anyways. Also, it is worth mentioning that there are still some challenges with ARM-based computer chips like the Snapdragon X. The transition is still ongoing, and developers are still optimizing their apps to run natively on this architecture. That means not every app you're used to on an x86 PC will necessarily work on a Snapdragon X laptop. So before making the switch, I'd recommend checking whether the apps you rely on a daily basis are compatible. For me, everything I need works on my Zenbook A14, so I've been able to enjoy the major benefits of an ARM-based PC, which include its quiet operation and impressive efficiency. With its low power consumption, it runs very cool and stays virtually silent all the time. I've yet to hear the fans kick on high or the laptop run too hot, which has always been a deal breaker for me on other lightweight Windows computers. I'm not kidding when I say this, the ASUS Zenbook A14 has some of the longest lasting battery life I have ever experienced on a computer, including MacBooks. With my workload mostly revolving around office-based applications, this has easily been a multi-day laptop for me. Last week, I started my day at 100% at 9 AM, and I still had around 54% by 6:44 PM when I wrapped up the work for the day. That said, there was a time I did have a moment of battery anxiety with this. I was down to 18% one day, and I was debating whether to bring a portable charger before heading out to do some work. I decided to risk it for the sake of testing since I'm reviewing this product, but I won't lie, leaving without a backup had me on the edge. Like, I was very anxious about it. With how my settings are set up, Energy Saver automatically does kick in at this percentage point, and after an hour of continuous use with max brightness, Wi-Fi is on, Bluetooth earbuds are connected, I only lost 3%. Like, that's incredible. At this rate, I still had like 4 to 6 hours left, which is reassuring when you're down to just 18% on this computer. All of the credit goes to the 70-watt battery ASUS packed into this laptop, and if you do need to charge it in a pinch, the Zenbook A14 does support ultra-fast charging with its included 65-watt adapter. I feel like anytime I bring up AI to people, I get the energy that people are just exhausted from this topic. It's not wrong to say that collectively as a culture, we have just been bombarded with AI features from every company imaginable. Most AI features I've seen over the years are actually very cool, but its utility really comes down to the individual, and I feel this same conclusion applies to the Zenbook A14. For example, the AI 3D video noise reduction and AI audio noise canceling technology to improve the webcam image and mic quality was actually pretty impressive. Take a look. A big window here, I'll kind of show you. I'm downtown in Toronto, and You can see kind of what the quality of the webcam looks like when you have like a nice bright window like hitting your face. I think it looks pretty good to me. Like, I don't think this looks bad at all. If we kind of go away from the window and we kind of just go into like a more low light situation, or kind of low light where there's not a lot of light hitting me directly, this is what the webcam looks like, and I think it looks decent. Like, this doesn't look bad. Like, this is passable, and I'm pretty impressed, to be honest, with how good it is, considering how light the laptop is. And anytime I hear the word light, I always think of like compromise on quality or execution, but this is an example where it's not really losing it too much. Like, this looks decent to me. This is passable. The ASUS adaptive dimming and adaptive lock feature is also kind of cool. Anytime I look away from the computer, it will dim the display. And if I completely step away from it, it will lock the computer automatically for me, further conserving battery life. I've never had this on a computer before, and I kind of love it. Like, it's pretty cool. Also, this is a Copilot Plus PC, meaning Windows 11 comes with a suite of built-in AI features at your disposal. The Snapdragon X chip on my Zenbook A14 includes an NPU capable of over 45 TOPS, which would offload AI tasks from the CPU and GPU for better efficiency and performance. For example, live captions run directly on the NPU, providing real-time subtitles for any video or audio on my computer, even without an internet connection, and it works surprisingly well. There's also a dedicated Copilot button that instantly launches the AI assistant, ready to answer any questions that you throw at it. For creative tasks, Microsoft Paint includes Code Creator, letting you sketch alongside AI to generate new images in real time. Or if you prefer text-based prompts, the Photos app's Image Creator allows you to create anything you can imagine. The list of AI tools on this laptop is extensive. I could honestly spend all day covering each one. The real question is whether they feel useful or just gimmicky, and that depends on the person. Like, personally for me, AI features have never been a selling point, but I can see how the Zenbook A14's AI tools could be valuable for those who need them. By now, it is very clear that the Zenbook A14 checks a lot of important boxes. It's unbelievably light, it has exceptional battery life, a stunning OLED display, solid performance, and runs very cool. For a laptop in this price range, that's an impressive combination. Is it perfect? No, but no laptop is. What it does do well is deliver a well-rounded experience that has me wanting to still continue to use this computer long after this video has been posted. Anyways, thank you for watching. Comment hashtag I made it if you did finish this video, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one. Peace.